Hey guys, it's Monty. Today I'm here to do the mid-year book freakout tag. This is an older tag, but it comes around kind of every year just because it's a nice way to check in with how your reading has been so far. This tag was originally created by Chammy. I will leave her original video down below. I think this is the first year that I'm not freaking out about my reading because I've been having a really good year. So the first question is the best book that you have read this year so far. There's two for this that I kind of go back and forth on, but I think I'm gonna go with I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. This was just so beautiful. It is about a pair of twins and it goes back and forth between periods in time to tell the story and basically how they kind of grew apart, and it's just a beautiful kind of coming of age sort of story that's just, it's so subtle, but it's just impacts you in a way that you like are not expecting going into it. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. I absolutely love this one. Next is the best sequel that you have read so far. For that, I'm going to go with Now I Rise by Kiersten White. I started the Conqueror saga this year. That was the other book that was tied for my favorite, the first one in this series, and I Darken. But this is its sequel and it was so good. I didn't love it quite as much as the first book, but it was still excellent. It's definitely going to be on one of my new all-time favorite series lists. This series is a sort of Vlad the Impaler retelling, except Vlad is a woman. It's just such an interesting novel with amazing characters that I have really fallen in love with. It's another one that I just couldn't recommend more. The next question is a new release you have not read but you want to. Honestly, I don't really have that many, I think. The first one that comes to mind is Neverworld Wake by Marisha Peschel, just because I did read Night Film and I really enjoyed it. And I'm not sure what this one's about. I believe it's like a YA thriller, which I don't think she's ever written a YA book before. So that would be really interesting to check out. Number 4 is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have two for this one. The first I actually have a little early copy of because Whitney passed along her arc for me to read, which I love her so much for doing. Thank you, girl. And that is Bright We Burn by Kiersten White, which is the third and final book in the Conqueror saga. This comes out really soon on July 10th, and I'm just, I've started reading it. I'm like 60 pages in. I'm really loving it so far. I know it's gonna wreck me in some kind of way, and I just, The other one is The Darkest Legacy by Alexandra Bracken. This is another book in the Darkest Mind series, which is one of my favorite series of all time. Obviously, I'm really excited for that. Question number 5 is your biggest disappointment. This is definitely gonna go to Ashes by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. Now this series, the Burn for Burn trilogy, wasn't one of my favorites, but the second book in the trilogy did really pick up the series in my opinion, and so I was looking forward to the third book, and there was a lot of things in the third book that I did like, but the end of the book absolutely ruined all of it, and it was just so disappointing. I cannot. Question number 6 is the biggest surprise, and that would have to go to And I Darken by Kiersten White. Sorry I'm talking about this series so much, but I just love it. Now, historical fiction is not typically a genre I pick up often. Before this year, I really had no interest in reading this series. But then Whitney was like, this is so good, you need to read it. And I trust her opinion a lot because typically the things she likes, I tend to like. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll pick it up. I don't know if I'll like it. So yeah, this was definitely the biggest surprise. Question number 7 is your favorite new author, and that can be a debut author or an author that's new to you. And I'm choosing the second option there. And I'm going with Jandy Nelson because not only did I read I'll Give You the Sun this year, I also read The Sky is Everywhere, which I also really love. I'm going to buy anything that she writes in the future. Question 8 is your newest fictional crush, and honestly, I don't think I have one. I don't know if I'm just getting to the age where I don't have fictional crushes as much, or if I didn't read any swoony worthy books. I don't know. I don't really have fictional crushes, I guess. Sorry. Question number 9 is your newest favorite character, and I'm gonna choose 2 for this one, and yep, this might as well just be a And I Darken like fangirl video at this point. The reason I love this series so much is not really for the plot, it's for the characters. The two main characters in this are Lada, who is our Vlad, and Radu, who is her brother. They are complete opposites, and I love them both for separate reasons. Lada is this fierce woman who will just do anything to get what she wants, anything for her people. I found myself highlighting so many of her quotes because I'm just like, I love you so much. And Radu is this sweet cinnamon roll who just tries his hardest in everything. He's just so sweet, and I want to protect him. I want to tuck him into bed and feed him soup, and I just, the characters in this. I don't even have words, as you can see. The next question is a book that made you cry, and honestly, I am a very easy crier, but I was looking at the books that I've read this year and I'm like, I can't remember if I cried during these books or not. Like, I very well could have, because like I said, I'm an easy crier. But the one that I think definitely made me cry was The Sky is Everywhere by Candy Nelson. This follows a girl who just lost her sister Bailey, who died very suddenly. It's packed full of emotions. It's so beautifully written. If you haven't read her books, you gotta check them out. Question 11 is the book that made you happy. Honestly, I haven't really read a lot of happy books lately, but I'm gonna go with Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. Not because it's necessarily a super happy book, but the characters in here, also some of my new favorite characters of this year, Safi and Zult, and their friendship is just so wonderful, and they just made me so happy. Question 12 is your favorite book to movie adaptation. I believe this year so far I've only seen two, which is Ready Player One and Love, Simon, and I'm gonna go with Love, Simon because I really enjoyed it. It was so happy and cute. It also made me really want to drink iced coffee, but then I got one from Starbucks and I thought it was disgusting. So question 13 is your favorite video that you have filmed this year. For me, I'm gonna say it's either My Dog Picks My TBR because I love my dog, she's amazing, she's so cute, Bindi. Mwah. Or the testing why I love triangles with the love calculator, just because that was a lot of fun to do. Next is the most beautiful book you have bought this year or received. Now I could easily say the And I Darken books because I love them covers, but for the sake of having some different answers here, I'm gonna go with An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This book series recently got a cover change, and I know a lot of people weren't happy with it because everybody wants their series to match. Personally, I never had the original, so when Whitney offered to send me these because she already had copies, I was like, yes please. I think Laya looks so good on this cover, and not only that, this paperback is just my favorite kind of paperback. It is tall, it is floppy, it is soft, it is amazing. I also really love how it incorporates the colors with these books. They do this with Torch Against the Night, with the blue. They're just really, really pretty in my opinion, and this is another book that I'm currently reading and enjoying so far. And finally, the last question, what is the book that you need to read by the end of the year? Honestly, I don't have one of these. I mean, in the beginning of the year, I had a list of books that I needed to read or I was going to unhaul them, and I have either unhauled or read all of those. So really, whatever I want is what I'm gonna read. So that was the mid-year book freakout tag, or for me, I should just change it to the I Love Jandy Nelson and the And I Darken series tag. Let me know how your reading year has been going so far, and until then, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.